On talking about the differences of castration. So, and looking for a couple of volunteers.
We got to go to, I don't know if it's everything's mother passed away, so we got calling hours and everything tonight.
Out of St. Francis, Kansas is No Bull Ain't, and we have a product called the Castration Bander, and we've got a new product that just come out this past year, and we'll talk about that a little bit more detail here just in a minute. Give you a little bit of history about me. My wife and I, we run a beef cattle operation based out of Kentucky. I'm the Eastern field rep, so I cover everything east of the Mississippi. So that means I'm gone away from home. That means that my wife, I learned a long time ago, you don't take on any more than your wife can handle. So, but with keeping that in mind, you know, we're here today to talk about different techniques and different ways of castration and the advantages and the disadvantages, the pros and the cons of different things. Well, we have to go back and we really think about it. We've got to think about how it's going to base you and your operation. If you're going to castrate calves,
I'm just turning out.
I wasn't loud enough. So, and she got me a little too loud. Is that better? Is that better there? All right. But going back to the fact that, you know, using a method for you at your place, it goes back to management. It's how you want to manage your practice. So if you're going to castrate at birth, or if you're going to do delayed castration and castrate those critters, you know, 3 or 4 months after weaning them, you know, it's all really bases back to you and how your operation is going to work. So, you know, they used to have these little green bands. You know, we put those on those baby calves when they were still wet. You know, and that's a good practice. It's a good practice to this day if you so choose to do that. You can use a knife. You can knife cut those calves. Take your pocket knife and remove those testicles and go that route. But here again, it goes back to a management practice. What works out best for you? Told you a minute ago about a new product that we had out called the Wee Band. And what this tool basically does, it's just basically like the little green band that we've used for years, but it puts tension based on the base of the scrotum. We put 18 pounds of pressure at the base of the scrotum, so it cuts all the blood flow off. There's no swelling or anything like that. And we use this a lot in the goat and sheep market as well. And that's really where it really goes back to, is taking care of those goats and sheep. And I know we're sitting here, I'm talking to a bunch of cattle producers, but at the same time, you know, there's guys that've got cattle, have got sheep, and they've got goats as well. But what I've noticed with sheep and goat are, when you do castrate them, you have to wait a couple of days to let them go in and form up and you know, to keep them from getting what they call a water belly or something of that nature, or a piss gut, or whatever you want to call it. So, but by doing delayed castration on those little critters, you're going to actually perform out better for them. And I've noticed too that, you know, the other little bands that you put on, those goats or sheep, they would go over, they would kick, they would flop around on the ground. But when we used the Castration Wee Band, they didn't seem to kick, they didn't seem to mind it a bit. All right, I'm going to put this down and I'm going to load this machine and I'm going to talk as loud as I can. No, sir. And when I get done, I'll be standing up here. Any of you want to come up and look at this, you know, you're more than welcome to. I'll be more than happy to walk anybody through this.
I'll catch up with you. Where are you going? Okay, just out here.
Basically, you're going to load this little small band through the end of the tool. You're going to stretch that band over the area. So now you're already done. Using our our small newborn testicle sac. Go in underneath the critter, count 1, 2. Okay? Put the band on, and simply by pulling back on the handle, you're going to put 18 pounds of pressure on the base of that scrotum. Here, pass it around, let everybody look at it. So basically what I did is I put that band around the base of the scrotum, and then when we pulled back, we put 18 pounds of pressure. So we've cut all the blood flow off. So there's going to be no swelling or edema or nothing like that. Now we've covered, that basic. But I guess my biggest thing is we leave a lot of options out there on the table. If you're a seed stock producer and you've got bull calves running around out there, and you're wanting to say you've got one. I've heard seed stock producers, they can tell as soon as that calf is born if he's going to be the next great bull. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but I think you take a better option in weaning time to understand if those critters are going to be good enough to be a good seed stock bull. And then sometimes you've got an option there. If you need to wait just a little longer, you can do that as well. So that goes back to doing delayed castration. How many of you here use the small bands and wean at birth? Or not wean at birth, the castrate at birth? All right. How many of you has ever missed one? All right, same guys missed them. So, was those bull calves, were they ever bigger than those steers? You don't think those bull calves were any bigger than those steers that you weaned? All right. Well, you can usually gain about 10% more weight gains if you leave them bull calves as you would steers. And wait till weaning time. Or even take it a little further. But here again, now you're going back to a management practice. You're going to have to separate those bulls from the heifers. And you're going to have to kind of do a little bit of management. Sometimes, we're just not able to have a management practice like that. Sometimes we sell them, bring them in, wean them off to, wean them on the way to town. That's how your operation has worked. But here again, that's just the way it is. So, but by doing a delayed castration or waiting to weaning time, you've got a bigger animal to work with. You're going to need a good working facility to do that, and you're going to have to get them up a couple of times. So, but with our tool, basically you can band that critter at about, I'm going to use numbers of 500 to 600 pounds with no problems at all. And that animal's not going to back up. It's going to keep moving forward. It's going to go back to feed. And I'm going to put this thing down. I'm going to load this tool and show you how to do it.
No thanks, sir.
I'm going to take a calicrate loop. Now I will need a volunteer on this. Load it seam side up. Put your black washer through. By putting that tool on your hand, now you're able to facilitate get underneath the critter. And you're able to get over a pretty good sized testicle. Go back in, count to 2, pull around, come around there, and you start ratcheting back. You're going to watch your tension indicator and make sure that you've got this tension indicator can come all the way back. And at that point, you're going to have 100 pounds of pressure at the base of the scrotum. Feel like this guy. He said, wow. Pushing down on the handle, you're going to crimp that aluminum band. There's a couple of them on there, but you see how tight that gets. And you see how tight that gets, and they'll pass that around and you can see that as well. So now we don't have any blood flow going to scrotum. So there'll be no swelling, no edema. You can dehorn with this. I know now we're going to get off castration a little bit. We're going to go to dehorn. You can use this tool to dehorn with as well. If you got any questions on dehorning, come see me after we get done, and I'll tell you more about that. But the high points of the dehorning is you're going to need at least an inch in size diameter horn to take care of that problem. But it takes about 40 to 50 days for it to come off as well. Do I have any questions?
What's the ideal age for castration?
The ideal? Now say that one more time.
The ideal age to castrate bulls at performance minded.
All right, I'm going to make sure. His question was, what's the ideal age to wean or age to castrate? Is that right?
Yeah, based on performance of the animal.
Well, here again, it goes back to your management. You can do it at weaning time, say somewhere between 180 to 200 days of age, a weaning time, or carry that animal on over until it gets up there 700-800 pounds, something of that nature. It goes back to your management and how it would actually go back, because you still have a choice in what you want to do on your beef operation. So a lot of guys will basically, they're going to basically castrate their critters at weaning time is when they're going to do it. That's, probably, a majority of people, that's when they're going to do it. Do I have any other questions?
Yeah?
Yeah, I buy stockers at the office. You're not that close to them when you're buying them. Yeah, I sold it. Sold this one back in 1st of November. Oh yeah, when they did that, they just under a testicle. That cost me over $200. They call that a stocker, not a steer. They really dock you for that. So you want to be very careful when you get close to them.
That's, and here again, that's something he just brought up is, you call that, I always call that a stag. A stag. And what he was saying is somebody, he bought a critter at the sale barn and basically sucked its testicle back up through, or they did not get both testicles with the green band. So therefore, it was a stag that had a testicle in his belly. Would that critter be able to breed? Probably not, because of the fact that the testicle is in the belly, and there's too much heat there, because it wouldn't be able to, the sperm would probably clump together, it wouldn't be able to actually do its job. But he probably would still have a lot of the bull characteristics and still have a lot of the want to, but he just wouldn't be able to get it done. So basically, you got to go in there, cut the belly open, pull the testicle out, and remove the testicle and stitch the animal up, and it's a costly procedure. So, and that's something to really be careful of, is when you're looking at those critters, you can tell the ones that are staggy bulls. I mean, and it just takes a while to watch the market and see.
They don't want them in the feed.
Oh no, they don't want them in feed because they're going to ride everything out. I want a critter standing there eating at a feed trough, not trying to ride everything. So, got any other questions? All right, well, I guess we don't have any more questions, and I've got a booth right over here if you want to come stop by and check everything out. We appreciate it.